Hello, my friends. This is Dr. Ginny Barrow. Today, I want to bring you this micro-learning as I get ready to present to one of my clients virtually in the next couple of hours. I want to share with you, how do you advance your career and how do you overcome the challenges of this virtual world today, and how can you leverage and lean into the resources that are available to you to advance your career as a leader, as a team lead, as an advisor, as a manager, whatever your role may be today. The most powerful way that I have learned over the last 30 years is by building an inclusive network. So today's presentation that I'm giving in a couple of hours is on the power of inclusive networking. So 30 years is a long time, and only the last 4 years I've been running my own business. So I know what it's like to be in the corporate world and climbing the ladder, as we call it. But now that we are in a virtual world, it's taking us to a new levels of challenges. Now, I know many of you already felt hesitant to network when things were quote unquote normal. Imagine now in this isolation where you don't even get to pass by people's desks to say hello or to swing by somebody's office on your way to the kitchen to get some coffee or tea. How are we going to stay connected, and how are we going to expand our reach and our influence to advance our careers, to have more impact, to get to know our peers better when we're not connected physically anymore, at least for so many of us still? That is what the power of inclusive networking will bring to your doorstep, will put in your hands so that you can touch it. And so I'm going to share with you in this micro learning 3 things that I do to advance my business, and also what I do and teach my clients to do so that they can continue to grow personally and professionally and grow within their field. The first thing that I teach them is to identify their centers of influence. How do you identify your centers of influence? Who are they? And I'm going to give you this information also in a blog so that you can have it and you can do the exercises that I'm going to take them through. But identifying your centers of influence is very simple when you look at your role and you look at the people that are all the way around you that have some type of influence on your role. So yes, think about your manager, think about your direct reports and your team, think about peers of yours across the organization, think about mentors and sponsors, think about clients and stakeholders, people who you serve and people who in some way, shape, or form are related to the role that you do currently. That is within your organization. Now, expand that circle of influence and look at people outside of your organization. Who are those people that you are touching base with? And that can include vendors, again, clients, stakeholders, other peers in different companies that are doing something similar to what you do. These are all people in your centers of influence that you want to start building intentional connections with on a regular basis. And I know the first objection you're going to give me is, Ginny, I don't have time for this. I am doing it all. I'm spinning plates. I'm the person who's taking care of everything at work and at home. And I would say to you that how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you don't give yourself any space, if you don't prioritize yourself in any way, then that's happening in other areas of your life too, not only at work. But I can tell you this, since I began my career and I knew about the power of networking, I melted that into my job so that I wasn't working and then networking. I was working, networking simultaneously. It became part of my job to make appointments on my calendar to reach out to a particular person that I wanted to connect with. And that became my operational model. And by doing this, I was able to build and develop really meaningful connections with people that to this day, from my first job at Prudential in 1991, I am still friends with. Because to me, it is about the connection and about the relationship. It's not about transacting with people. And yes, This is going to be something new for you if you haven't been doing it. And yes, it's going to take you time to acclimate and to bring it into your everyday. But once you do, my friends, you will notice what a difference it will make, not only in helping you with your career, but how you will feel personally. You're going to feel more connected to people in general, and belonging and connection is one of the 6 universal human needs. So that's the first piece, identifying your centers of influence. What's really important and what holds us back from doing so is that in many cases, we don't understand our strengths and we don't grasp our challenges. And so in the training that I'm giving, I'm going to talk about how to identify your strengths, your weaknesses, the areas that you need to improve around the area of networking and inclusive networking, letting people of different backgrounds in those circles that I already mentioned come into your life and connect with you, and you connect with them from a place of curiosity and a place of contribution, which is what makes the biggest difference, because we get so in our heads about what am I going to say, what am I going to share, that we hold back instead of thinking, no, I'm going to get curious about this person and I'm going to ask empowering questions. How's it going? What have you been working on? What's really exciting for you these days? How are you coping with COVID and the working from home situation? How's the family doing? Those are all empowering questions that begin with what or how. And finally, the last piece I'm going to show them today that I'm sharing with you in this micro learning is how to create your action plan. But create an action plan that is meaningful, because everything that you have on your action plan is going to actually move the needle and have an impact in you achieving your goal of increasing your inclusive network. So we create actions based on our goals, our desires, and then let's attach a meaning to it. Why is that goal important to me? What will I feel when I accomplish this goal? And what would I feel if I don't? And when we do that and attach an emotion to a goal that we have, we're much more likely to go after that goal and achieve it, because there is something profound about it that is going to give us the fuel to go the extra mile and get it done. I know many of you and my clients and everybody that I speak with talk about how at the beginning of the year, we create our goals. By week 6 of the year, we've already blown all of these goals that we had about going to the gym and becoming healthier and being more patient. Goals need to be soulful, is how I call them. And goals need to have meaning and depth. And we do that by asking ourselves, what's important about that goal for me? And then writing that down so that it's tangible. You can see it in black and white. All right, so that's my micro learning for you. And your challenge is to identify your centers of influence, to look at your strengths and your weaknesses around networking so that you can increase your self-awareness, and then create an action plan that will help you leverage your strengths around networking and also mitigate the weaknesses that you identify, such as I procrastinate, I don't create a structure that would allow me to do my networking in a constructive and effective, time effective way. So that is your assignment for today's or for this week, I should say, micro learning. And I look forward to you sharing with me what you discover. And if you need support in doing any of these things, from identifying your centers of influence to identifying your strengths and your areas to improve, to creating a meaningful action plan, you know where to reach me at callwithginny.com. I'll see you soon.